Who is Mughirah ibn Shubah? Umari historians and Umari chroniclers of hadith, they all concur in describing him a man who is one of Duhatul Arab, one of the most cunning and most devious men of Arabia. That's how they describe him. Every book of history that you go, he comes from a very low tribe himself. He comes from Thaqif. The tribe of Thaqif, Al-Umari themselves have narrated in their books that is one of the tribes that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam despised them. He did not like that tribe. And of course, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam does not despise anyone for personal reasons. You despise a tribe because they're devious, because they're evil, they're usually criminals. So he came from a tribe that was not originally an Arab tribe. It was a tribe of low lives, of mostly freed slaves who were mostly criminals. He came from that tribe. So he himself could not become a caliph himself. He could not be a candidate because he was not from the elite of Quraysh, elite of the Arabs from Quraysh. But he came from that tribe, from Thaqif. Let's have a look at the books of history. This is Kitab al-Aghani, Ibn Faraj Ali ibn al-Husayn al-Isbahani. Published by Dar al-Sadr, volume number 16. أخبار المغيرة ibn Shubah ونسبه. Al-Mughirah ibn Shubah and his lineage. وكان المغيرة ibn Shubah من دهاة العرب. Mughirah ibn Shubah was one of the cunning men, one of the crafty men, one of the devious men of Arabia. وحزمتها. حزمتها, a person who makes good plans, good schemes, is very cunning and very intelligent in making very complicated plans. وذو الرأي منها. He was a man that he was always consulted by other people. والحيل الثاقبة. And he was a man who always made hila. He was a man of trickery, a man of very effective tricks to people. And there are many stories of him, famous for this, or notorious on this matter. How did this person become Muslim? Around year 5 or 6 Hijri, he was on a journey. He himself was not very rich, but he was very intelligent, very cunning, very devious. He went from Mecca to Egypt in the company of 13 men who were rich, who were wealthy. And on the way, he found an occasion that he killed all of them. And he was not a Muslim back then. So he killed everyone through treachery and through deceit. They were sleeping or whatever. What happened, he killed all of them and got all of their wealth, all of their gold and silver and all their belongings. And of course, he has killed all these people. He doesn't have anywhere to go. Where could he go? Right? Because those individuals, their tribes will come after him. He cannot go back to Mecca. He cannot go back to Taif. He cannot go back to his own Thaqif because people will come after him. So what he did, he came to Medina. He came to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, I become Muslim. At that time, it was before Hudaybiyah. This was before the Pact of Hudaybiyah. If a person became Muslim, Muslims would grant him protection. So he reached Medina. And he said to Rasulullah ﷺ that I become Muslim. So Rasul ﷺ, of course, could not deny him that, no, you cannot accept Islam. Because always Rasulullah ﷺ said, if you say Shahadatain, then I'm not going to investigate what is your heart, what's your motive. That's between you and Allah. And there are many ahadith to that effect in Bukhari and Muslim. And then he said, oh, I have all this gold. Please take 1/5 of this. Rasul ﷺ said to him, Amma Islamuka fanaqbaluh. As far as your Islam is concerned, we are going to accept your Islam, that you became a Muslim. وَلَا نَأْخُذُ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ شَيْئًا. And however, these 13 people that you've killed, we are not going to take, I'm not going to take a dime from that money. وَلَا نَخْمُسُهَا. And I'm not going to take 1/5 that you're offering. I'm not going to take anything from that money. لأن هذا غدر. Because this is betrayal. You betrayed them. You betrayed your friends. You are a traitor to your friends. And this is the money, this is the wealth that you have brought through treason and betrayal and treachery. وَالْغَدَرَ لَا خَيْرَ فِيهِ. In betrayal and treachery and treason, there is no good in it. وَكَانَ قَتَلَ مِنْهُمْ 13 إِنسَانًا. He had killed 13 people. So that's the story of his becoming Muslim. that he became Muslim because he's a fugitive. He was a criminal. He couldn't go anywhere else. He came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And after that, he became close friends with Abu Bakr. And I'll tell you about his close friendship with Abu Bakr, but there's a poet from amongst the ashab of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His name is Hassan ibn Thabit. He has a few lines about Mughirah ibn Shubah. This is Kitab Jumal min Ansab al-Ashraf, volume number 13, published in 1996. So one of his eyes was blind, this person, because what he had done when there was a solar eclipse, and he had gazed at the sun. So one of his eyes didn't work. He was one-eyed, and he was from the tribe of Thaqif. لو أن اللؤم ينسب كان عبدا قال حسان ibn ثابت في المغيرة. Hassan ibn Thabit has said these lines. He's a Sahabi himself. These lines, this is stanza about Mughirah ibn Shubah. لو أن اللؤم ينسب كان عبدا قبيح الوجه أعور من ثقيفي. If depravity, if degradation, if disingenuity was a person, if it was a lineage, it would be that slave, that person who is ugly, and he is one-eyed, and he is from the tribe of Thaqif. So evil personified, dishonesty personified, and devil himself is Governor of Umar ibn Khattab, Mughirah ibn Shubah. And he said these poems when he was governor of Umar ibn Khattab. So even when this person was a friend of Umar ibn Khattab, and Umar ibn Khattab is the caliph, and he's ruling, Sahaba did not, and Muslims did not forget who Mughirah ibn Shubah was. Mughirah ibn Shubah was granted this big post in Kufa, and he was ruling over Kufa, many countries, and his treasury was vast and uncountable, so much money he had. And he, at that time, Hassan ibn Thabit said these poems about him. Okay.